Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today I'm talking about the movie Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. So this is Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you've not seen the movie yet, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first before you watch this review. So, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 is the 7th movie in the Mission Impossible franchise. In this one, Ethan Hunt and the gang have to stop a computer AI system known as the Entity. All right. So, as far as what I liked about the movie, overall the cast was great. Tom Cruise is very good in this. As far as the action scenes go and everything else, and his acting was fine, as good as you can expect from Tom Cruise. Rebecca Ferguson's great in this. She's always good. I love her in these movies. I think she's one of the best additions to the cast that they've had. Ving Rhames, again, always good, always great. I love to see him. He's been in almost all of them, I think, and that's awesome. Simon Pegg, always good. Esai Morales as the villain. I loved him as well. I thought he was great. I love Pom Klementieff. She doesn't have much to do. I think she only has a couple lines, and they're mostly in French. But she's great. She has a great character, and she does a really good job with the kind of action scenes. So they were great. And I think that the stand-up for me though is Hayley Atwell. She was amazing in this. She was great, and I know her from Agent Carter and the Marvel movies and stuff. And I've seen her in some other stuff like Black Mirror. But this is kind of the first big thing I've seen her in outside of the Marvel stuff, and she was amazing. I loved her character. I loved the way she played it. I thought she was super hot and super cool and funny, and it was a great character. And I'm looking to see more from her in this movie and in general. But far and away, best thing about this movie is Hayley Atwell. She's great in this. But also, there's everyone in this is really great. Vanessa Kirby's good. I really liked Henry Czerny, who was in the first one and hasn't been in one since then, I don't think. So they brought him back 30 years later, which is awesome. And Carrie Ellis in here doing an American accent, and a decent enough one. But it's always funny when I see him, I'm like, that's not your normal voice, Carrie. But yeah, loved it. Loved the cast. Overall, great. Thought the cinematography was really great, really well done. The movie itself has a really cool look to it. The way they show sort of a lot of the landscapes and the kind of scenic shots are really good. But I also really appreciated that there's not too much like shaky cam and stuff like that. And I think really I love the way that they did a lot of the action scenes. I think they were really well directed. And I really like the design of the key as well. I thought the key, the way the two pieces fit together was great. I thought that was really cool. I love the score, which is by Lauren Balfe. He also did Terminator Genesis and the last Mission Impossible movie, and some TV stuff as well. Like I said, the action scenes I thought were all really good, really well directed. I could see what was going on. They weren't too close. There was some shaky cam, but not too much. It didn't really bother me. And when they did it, I feel like they did it for a fairly good reason. You get a lot of Tom Cruise running, chopping the air, doing his run. If you like that, then there's at least 3 or 4 scenes in this movie of Tom Cruise doing that. So always good, give the people what they want. Like I said, minimal shaky cam. I know they do it a bit, and they do it a lot in the sort of very tight alleyway scene where he's fighting Pom Klementieff and a couple other people. And in that scene, I actually think it worked. It helped to kind of make it more claustrophobic and bring it in a little closer, so I didn't mind it there. And they do it a little bit through other parts as well, but not enough to distract me. So either I'm getting used to it, or they did it enough that it wasn't overdoing it like some movies do. I thought overall the tension was handled really well. The opening scene with the Russians in the submarine, great scene where they're trying to figure out what's going on and why, it's saying that this torpedo is there or this other sub is there, and it's not. The chase sequences throughout, there's a couple good chase sequences when they're driving in the little tiny car. Very good stuff. And like I said, the alleyway fight, all good tension, very, very tense kind of scenes, and I really enjoyed them a lot. The motorcycle jump, the big motorcycle jump everyone's heard about and seen about, it's on the poster there behind me. It was great. It was awesome. It was great to see it. I'm watching the movie and like we're a good 2 hours in, and I'm like, this has got to be ending soon, right? And then I'm like, wait, they still haven't done that big jump yet. So yeah, that whole thing and pretty much the whole train sequence that that's leading up to, it's like the last half hour of the movie or so. It's great. The entire thing is pretty much nonstop action and fun, and I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. As far as what I didn't like about the movie, I like him, but I think Rob Delaney as one of the agents was just weird for me, because I'm like, that's the dude from Deadpool 2. Like, what's going on there? And I know he's been in, I think he was in Casualty. He's sort of a comedian. I'm sure he's done some serious stuff as well, but just for me personally, just seeing him being like, is this a joke? Why is that guy here? I don't understand. Hold on a second. Movie is a little long. It's about 163 minutes, I think, with credits and everything. So a little over 3 hours. And yeah, I noticed getting into it where I'm like, yeah, that's a long movie. Big issue I do have with the movie is fridging. There's a lot of fridging in this movie, which is funny because as I'm watching it and they kill Rebecca, they pretend to kill Rebecca Ferguson's character pretty quickly. And I'm like, man, I hope they didn't really kill her. I hope this is a fake out because she's great. She's one of the best characters. And as she came on screen, I was kind of thinking like, oh yeah, this franchise has done a really good job with like having strong women characters that aren't like too strong or like too badass. Like they've found a good way of kind of meeting this. And with Hayley Atwell too, I'm like, this is great. And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy killed your wife. And I'm like, okay, that happened in the first movie maybe. So not much we can do about that, but okay. And the movie was like 30 years ago. So, it happens. But then they're like, well, now you got to choose either Ilsa or Grace is going to die. And it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Why? Hold on. Okay. First of all, he just met Grace. Like he just met her. Don't get me wrong. She's hot and they've got chemistry and stuff, but like he doesn't even know her fucking middle name. Like, what are you talking about here? And if you're really going to have him like, oh, you got to pick between two people that you love, you got Benji and Luther right there, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's 2023, and you're like, hey, let's make this guy choose between these two women that he loves, one of which he just met a couple hours ago. How are you writing that in 2023? How are you writing that? How do you think that is? How did nobody involved with this movie go, hey, maybe not a good idea? And then they kill Rebecca Ferguson's character again, one of the best characters in the franchise. Why? I don't. Yeah. The sleight of hand stuff was a little funny to me too, just because I don't know if he's done that in other movies or whatever, and it was fine. It worked as like a little flirty scene, but like also I'm like, what is this? Ethan Hunt is like a magician now or something? Okay, am I watching, Now You See Me or something? The humor, there's some humor in this movie, and it worked, but it was also kind of out of place for me. And I think most of it was fine. But the one scene that was just a little too far for me is when he gets in the little tiny car and then immediately crashes. It's a funny scene and it works. And it's something I think about a lot. Like if I were, a super secret spy, I would probably do that because I'm an idiot. But when he does it, it's a little weird. He's like, oh yeah, it's a new car. Sometimes it happens. And they play it for laughs. It's a joke. But it seemed a little out of place to me where I'm just like, okay. And maybe they've always done that kind of stuff in these movies. I didn't rewatch the old ones and I'm not even sure if I've seen them all. I'm pretty sure I saw Fallout. I know I saw the first 3. 4 and 5, I'm a little iffy about. I think I saw him. Brad Bird did one. I don't remember. One with Burj Khalifa. Either way, I thought that was just maybe a little too much for me, a little too silly. Again, it was funny, it worked, but just in the context of this movie, I was just like, okay. There's some questionable CGI. So granted, overall the stunts are mostly really cool, really good. Tom Cruise really jumps off of that bike like 6 times or 10 times or something. He really parachutes. That's all real. But there's a part where they're on the train and there's stuff falling. And to me, it looked pretty obviously CGI. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not always good at spotting that, but it looked fake to me. I mean, I understand, of course, you don't want to have stuff falling on Tom Cruise and Hayley Atwell, but just took me out of the movie a little bit. Like I said, the whole either Ilsa or Grace must die thing really pissed me off. The fact that they decided to kill Ilsa really pissed me off. And the whole entity thing, I mean, it's fine. I get it. I see why it's scary, but also like, what year is this? I understand AI and everything. Everyone's all worried about AI or whatever, but like, just seems like a plot from a 90s movie or something to me. I don't know. I get it. The entity, it's, I don't know. It kind of works, but I guess it's just like, it's a robot. It's a computer. Like, what are you going to do? Which is why I think they put Esai Morales in this, and I thought he was good. But I don't know. Other than that, movie is directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who is probably most known for writing The Usual Suspects. He also wrote Top Gun Maverick and then directed the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. This movie was written by by Christopher McQuarrie. There's also credit to Bruce Geller, who wrote the original TV series. He gets credit for all these movies. And Erik Jendresen, who was mostly a producer, but he wrote a couple episodes of Band of Brothers. Of course, I have to address in this movie Tom Cruise, who is an entertaining person, but a complete psychopath. Allegedly, I don't know how the laws work, but yeah, he's a member of Scientology. David Miscavige most likely murdered his wife, and nobody's doing anything about it because they own all the police and have people involved. And this sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory, but it's not. They're terrible people. It's a crazy cult, and it should be outlawed and shut down immediately. That being said, Tom Cruise is very entertaining. And if he wants to continue trying to kill himself to entertain us, fine. As long as he eventually dies doing it, I'm happy. I was going to say I don't want him to die, but I kind of do. Yeah. So, this is a weird thing to me. Apparently, Esai Morales replaced Nicholas Hoult, and I've just been trying to figure out how does that work? Because Nicholas Hoult is like 30, and Esai Morales is like 50 or 60. So, like, what? And then like he killed his wife like 30 years ago. So like Nicholas Hoult did it when he was like 2. I don't so I guess they made some changes to the story there. But it's just a little confusing because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's replace this kid with a guy who's twice his age. Movie's got a $291 million budget. It's made $235 million worldwide so far. So it's doing okay. But it's gonna need to make like $600 million to make money because they spent a lot of money on this movie. But it doing well. It's being well reviewed. The Rotten Tomato score on it, the critics are at 96 and the audience is at 94%. So overall, people are really liking it. And I think I have to agree, even though the movie is a little long and the fridging thing really pissed me off. And I'm upset that they killed Rebecca Ferguson. But despite all of that, I did really enjoy the movie. I thought it was great, and Hayley Atwell was amazing. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was really good. If they would have just not decided to use women as plot devices in 2023, it would have been even better. But I don't know. What do you expect? But if you saw the movie, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you here again next week.